good evening and welcome to Garblag Games. Wow, this is very exciting. I'm really looking forward to this. I've been a huge fan of Dune for many, many years, to the stage where it literally influenced my ability to walk on sand when I lived in the desert. Yes, I would walk on sand using the asymmetrical walking pattern because I read about it in Dune. Loved that book. So amazing. And it's such a privilege to actually get to run with it and play it and do stuff with it. So, yes, hi, welcome. The Modiphius book for Dune came out like today, but if you had it on pre-order, it may have arrived a couple of days ago. And so I've been speed reading it and going through it, and I was like, going to do this right now. No holds barred, no time wasted, let's go. So the plan is for tonight, what we're going to do, we're going to use the Dune Adventures in the Imperium by Modiphius to generate a minor house and 3 characters from said minor house, at which point we will be ready to embark on a little prologue adventure into the universe of Dune. I make no promises about the planet of Dune. Yeah, we're going to Arrakis. You can't not, can you? It'd be a crime. So, joining me tonight, yes, star-studded team indeed. We've got Millie, the GM, who has been pried away from her, do we have to do 2d20?
Yeah.
By the promise of being a Bene Gesserit witch.
Yes.
We've got Alden, who hasn't decided yet exactly what he wants to be, which is cool, gives us a lot of scope to work from, but he has got some delicious Dune bread in the background. Where did you get the recipe from, Alden?
The interweb.
What was the website called? Wasn't it like sci-fi-breads.com or
There
something?
is sci-fi breads out there. Boingboing.net do quite some good recipes.
So there you go.
There.
If you want to know how to make sci-fi bread, Alden is your man. And also we have Aaron, who's quite excited to play a Mentat spy, I believe. So, yeah, let's go for it.
Cool. Better open up a character sheet, eh?
Yes, so I've sent everybody character sheets. We're going to go paper and dice rather than and a VTT. I couldn't remember what they were called for a second there. For this one, so that we can have a bit of a play with the gorgeous character sheets. They are very, very lovely. And I think we're going to start with the house rather than starting with the characters.
Sure.
So that we know where we're coming from for that. So from the book, what we are told is that player characters all serve a single noble house. Before creating characters, it's important to determine details about the style, agenda, and attributes of the house they serve. Fair. Houses play a massive role in the story of Dune. They're kind of essential to it. And the universe of Dune, it goes into loads and loads of detail in the backstory and the lore, and really opens up an understanding of how the great houses come to be, and the story of the Falfrelux system and the Landsrad, and all of the great house stuff is pounding in my brain right now. So we're going to look at houses. Now, the options it gives you for houses is general power level is your starting point. Now, I wanted to go with a minor house. And initially, my first thoughts are that we're going to come from a minor house in service of House Richesse. Or Richesse. Not sure on the pronunciation. This is one of those ones where you get words that you've read but never actually heard said aloud.
Like Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah.
What's I'm just going to read past that bit really quickly and just recognise the shape.
It is was cattle prod.
Yeah. Benedict Cumberbund.
Yes. Ping wings.
Yeah.
So, background-wise, before the Harkonnens had Arrakis, it was a holding of House Richesse. They lost it to the Harkonnens, who subsequently lost it to the Atreides in the very start of the book Dune by Frank Herbert. So it's going to be set in the time when the Harkonnens have recently taken over. House Rachis have lost Arrakis, which has caused their fortunes to decline dramatically, leading to a trade war, which they also lost, really relegating them to the sort of backwaters of the Landsraad and leaving them dumped in the background as possibly never recovering from the damage done to them. However, they are still a great house, a major house. And so under them, there are a number of minor houses. So I wanted to take one of those minor houses and develop that. Holdings can consider about a third of a world or a whole moon controlled by the major house, jockeying for position amongst other minor houses. So it's kind of the Landsraad writ small. We're going to have a minor house jockeying with other minor houses, probably also Rachis minor houses that we're looking at being rivals to. Excuse me.
Sure.
So we're going to go for a minor house. That's our starting point.
Cool.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because playing a great house is a lot more work.
Well, even if so the other side of picking what level of house we start at, the other side of it is depending on how big a house you are depends on how much threat the GM starts with. So
absolutely.
if we pick a minor house, you're only going to get one
I get
player.
one threat per person
Yeah.
playing.
Just 3.
Whereas if you take a great house, it's 3 threat per person playing. And with threat, you can do an awful lot of damage to your player characters. Also, with the minor house, it means that you're not as tied into the existing lore and background, and you can play a little bit more fast and loose with the canon. Okay, so we're going for a minor house. We need a name for our house. So what name do you think is a good one for a minor house?
Yeah, I don't know.
About something like Dargush or Ezdeha.
We do have one suggestion in chat, which I believe was...
I do quite like that.
I can't find it now. I think it was like House Garblag or something.
Yeah.
Garblagian.
Garblagian, yes.
So maybe not that one.
Yeah, as much as
too
always be
self-indulgent.
branding. Always be branding. Not
Always
maybe,
be branding. That's a
maybe-
Pete if ever there was one.
maybe not our house. It's down there on the overlay over there somewhere. Down there. It'd be fine. Yeah, what was the first one you said then, Aaron?
Dargush.
Dargush?
It's a Persian word that means whisper or secret.
Ooh, I like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also gives you a hint into the next set of questions, which is about the domains that your house controls. So obviously every house has got shares in Chom, the sort of massive intergalactic combine that controls all trade through the Landsraad, and has sort of mercantile business and produce specialities. So as a minor house, we begin with one primary domain and one secondary domain. Now, those domains come from a wide range of things. So there are areas of expertise to consider. Machinery, produce, expertise, workers, and understanding. Those are subsets of each of the different types of domain that you might have. So the domains are things like artistic, espionage, farming, industrial, Canley, political, military. Canley is the sort of declaration of a war of attrition against another house. Canley is no holds barred, one of us is going down. It's the rules of assassination. So a Canley house would be a
refined. It's not
yes,
no
it's
holds barred.
gentlemanly
Cool.
assassination.
Absolutely, yes.
There
Well,
are
if,
rules to these things.
if House Rachisi is looking to our house to effect House Harkonnen on Arrakis, I mean, I would think maybe either Canley or espionage might be our
Espionage. Yeah.
primary business.
Yeah, the book kind of talks about you have like this thing that your house is known for, and then it backs it up with like, but you also do this. So like, because I was thinking about this, like, and if I guess it might fit into the sort of spy thing as well. Richesse, they made miniature things. That was their thing. They made miniaturized versions of stuff. So in order to see miniaturized things, you're going to need some sort of magnification or some sort of lens, or working with that kind of stuff. So if the house made like the lenses or the viewing apparatus for that kind of stuff, that in turn also kind of feeds into, well, they're spies. They watch things from afar. They gather things.
That's a really interesting idea, actually. Yeah,
like surveillance devices or sensor systems that would allow. We make the sensor systems and surveillance systems to allow us to detect.
So that'd be an industrial.
So
Feels like a mix of industrial and espionage, doesn't it?
So
I
the
think
main one would be like an industrial, probably like manufacturing, because we make lenses so people can look at small things.
Yeah.
Well, each one of the areas of expertise has machinery as a subset.
Yeah.
So like industrial would be like factory machines and things like that. Whereas if we were going to go like some sort of surveillance systems, that would be machinery under espionage.
Okay. So they don't. So the two, because we have two, don't we? We have the main,
right, primary and a secondary.
The one we advertise the world being, this is what we do.
Yeah.
And then the secret one, which is the one that makes the drama, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for example, House Atreides, their primary one is agricultural.
Yeah.
They export cheap farming products because they're a very watery planet. So they export pundi rice, which is the most widely eaten foodstuff in the galaxy, and therefore they are an incredibly powerful house off the back of this really
mundane thing.
And also, House Richisi used to be known for manufacturing highliners. So we could be a minor house that's manufacturing some subcomponent of the highliners that they manufacture. And so industry machinery could be our primary, with spaceship as, what we're manufacturing. And then we could look at a secondary domain, either in espionage or
you could take the espionage lenses, but have them known as, we make lenses. It's not just for espionage. So you could have an espionage primary and secondary.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, yeah.
So your espionage machinery is the lensing, and you're known for manufacturing microscopes, telescopes, lenses, and things like that. So yes, they're used in spying equipment, but they're also used in scientific, medical research.
Yeah. And then we also, because we're good at making stuff like that.
So what would you say the second one is? Is it workers? Is it understanding? Is it expertise? Expertise might be a good one, actually.
I was wondering if it was like expertise and that kind of stuff. Because obviously, if we're making this kind of stuff, we have people who know how to work it. And we'll send our agent, our rep over, and while they're there, they'll also gather all the information that by accident. It was just an accident. We were just showing you it as a product demonstration. Totally.
I like that.
And we'll bring that all home, and then somebody in the middle of this, like our noble or our mentat or whatever, will go, oh really? They've upped their order of that. That must mean they need to move to there, which then implies that they're going to war.
Norman Smith says floating hover needles.
Yes, the incredibly delicate.
That well-known and important device from Dune. So we're looking at a double espionage house then, with a primary espionage machinery and a secondary espionage in expertise, but not like hello, we are spies, more we manufacture these very useful pieces of apparatus
Yeah.
and know how they work really well. The fact that we gather loads of information through that is completely secondary to our house.
No, we're purely an industrial combine.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Totally.
Oh, I did miss out religion and science.
That's fine.
But, yeah,
My
it's
bad.
fine.
I didn't think you'd want to be a religious house. Somehow.
We're okay. We'll cope.
So,
somehow.
homeworld then. Let's think about our homeworld. Are we going to be planet-based in the Rachis planet or on one of the Rachis planets, or do you want to be sort of lunar-based, independent sub-colony?
A moon somehow suits the kind of secretive comings and goings and espionage, and you can take off from your moon without too many people watching you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I like that.
Yep, I do too.
Okay, so you want to have a moon?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd like it to be green, please.
Okay.
A lush.
So it's a moon, but it's not a moon in the arid, lifeless sense. It's a moon more like an Endor style.
Oh, let's go a forest moon. Yes, I'm loving it.
So around a gas giant, then probably.
Yeah. Why not?
Lovely. So we got a moon around a gas giant that we chill out on. We got Rachis, noted for miniaturization. Fourth planet in Epsilon Eridani. Oh, who doesn't love Epsilon Eridani? You know what else was near Epsilon Eridani, don't you?
Hmm?
Babylon 5.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Ah. Suddenly we've got a whole house of Zathras.
Not the one.
Not the one. No, not the one.
Zathras and Zathras and Zathras. Zathras and my brother Zathras.
Yeah, so Rachis and Ix are both considered experts in machine culture. Both escaped the most severe efforts of the Butlerian Jihad, which is don't make thinking machines or we'll kill you.
Yep.
So you definitely don't make thinking machines at all, Gov. No, our machines don't think. We just make the lenses. Someone puts it in a thinking machine. That's not on us.
No, absolutely not us.
So what's the dominant form of weather on your moon?
Nice. That's a nice place to live.
Sort of temperate, I'm thinking. Yeah.
So we're looking at temperate woodlands.
Yeah, it's not rainforest. It's more sort of deciduous and bit pines on the upper.
The sort of place you wouldn't be at all surprised to see Stargate SG-1 walking around going, hey, this alien planet looks a lot like
Canada.
Oregon. No, or Canada. Yeah.
All the other alien planets.
What sort of habitations do we have there? Is it cities, towns, little isolated farms and such like?
Well, maybe a couple of medium-sized cities, and then most of the moon is left unspoiled.
So industrial base in the medium-sized cities, and then I want to say underground compounds, or stuff that's hobbit holes, stuff that's blended into the environment.
Nice, yeah. Environmentally friendly.
Purely for ecological reasons, not for
harder to spot.
any kind of espionage-y typey thing. No.
None of that.
Nothing to do with that.
I'm guessing that it's quite a peaceful place with not much crime, because it's difficult to commit crimes if your government knows you're about to do it.
Well, it's a sort of recruitment drive, really. And you get away with it for how long?
Yeah, it's cool, actually. If you think about the Imperial Sardaukar, they're recruited from the worst of the worst on a prison line.
That's a lie. You can't prove it.
Only because nobody's allowed to go to Seleucus.
Secundus.
How content are the people? As content as we tell them they are.
Content.
Do they respect their rulers, or do they labour in fear of them? What are you like as employers? Are you nice employers? Are you nasty employers?
So, is everyone on the moon part of the house, or do we have subjugates?
Well, the way the houses work, anybody on the moon is subject to the house. So you've got the house in charge of the moon. Anyone who lives there is basically a serf for the house. So they either work in manufacturing or they work to support the cities that support the manufacturing.
I think we... No, go on, Aaron.
I was just going to say, I would think we would do our best to keep everyone happy and comfortable in their living, because that reduces the chance for, corporate espionage. If everybody's happy, there's less likely that, your competitors are going to be able to get in there and get influence over them.
Yeah, there's probably a fair amount of behavioral programming going on.
You've also got a respected house, and you've also got this angle that you talked about a minute ago, Alden, where people who break the law get recruited rather than punished.
If they do it well. If they do it badly, then they get punished.
If you're a rubbish criminal, you're in trouble, mate. But if you're a really good criminal, we'd respect that.
Yeah, we'd like to talk to you.
Well, use your talent. Use those talents.
Yeah.
For the good of the house.
And it seems like our manufacturing base is fairly high skilled, so that way we want to keep the workers happy. It's not just like grunt labor, so that gives us an incentive to do that. Then there's the incentive of we don't want dissent on the home moon.
You're also going to need some high silicate deposits, thinking about it, if you're lens specialists.
Yep.
For grinding glass, so you're going to need probably underground silicate deposits.
Underground silicate deposits, big sweeping beaches. Maybe we can have some of that.
Yeah.
The woodlands going down to that, and that sort of thing. And so I think there's probably a series of social rewards for being good citizens. There's a certain amount of behavioral programming going on of respect the house has your interests, don't listen to those other houses.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like if you're giving your people a better standard of living than a lot of other houses, social engineering there is like, look at how good you guys have got it compared to the shit these guys have to deal with. Nice. So that kind of answers the next question, which is how much of the house's wealth is put back into the community. Are their holdings full of public works and support systems, or do they keep all the cash for themselves? Sort of answered, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot
we
of...
take good care of your skilled labor, and they will take good care of you.
Exactly, and because it is skilled labor, you need to take care of it, because otherwise you lose it, don't you?
Absolutely. Grinding optics lenses is difficult and complicated work.
Very nice. So House Dargouche so far, looking pretty good. They're an espionage house, but they're not malicious spies. They're manufacturers. They build devices that help people see.
Yeah.
Don't we love it?
Absolutely.
So nice.
Yeah.
What sort of banner and sign of arms might you have? 1 or 2 colours and a crest, an animal, an object, a chemical element. I suppose if you've got forests and you're based on sort of a silicate based thing, you're looking at
either that
silver?
or there's something about like shining a light in the dark place, which is also like, we're coming to steal your secrets. Shine that light in the dark. But it's about the lenses. It's about the lenses.
So are you going to go for like a lantern then as your symbol?
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, something like that. That sounds nice.
And then the colours in the background.
Maybe they're like blue and yellow, or green and yellow for like the sand and the tree.
Yeah, that's good.
Excellent.
Yeah, that deep forest green across the back, and then the detail picked out either in kind of yellowy gold, or I'm trying to think what colour silica actually is, because it really isn't.
It really isn't, is it? Because it's a crystal.
Yeah.
But sand is yellow, so
sometimes
go with that.
Other colours are available.
Other colours. I know. I come from the Isle of Wight, where, of course, we have 8 different colours of sand.
Nice.
Quite famously, we're one of the only places in the world that have this arrangement of sand colours. There's like 3 in the world where you can get that many colours of sand in one place. There's one on the Isle of Wight. There's one in Australia, and there's one somewhere in the Middle East, like Morocco or somewhere, I think.
Cool.
Okay, right. On to the important stuff then. House traits. So the house traits can be used by any of the player characters who are recognized as members of the house and imply the reputation that the house has within the Imperium. By spending 1 momentum, which is one of the metagame currencies that you can use, you can apply a house trait to your character for a scene. So if you have the house trait of honorable and you're at a party talking to people, you can spend a point of momentum to invoke your house's reputation as an honorable group. So they are people who are they will assume that you're dealing with them fairly. Each house begins with a descriptive trait for its reputation: honorable like the Atreides, brutal like the Harkonnen. And then the rest is the way the Imperium sees your house and expects you to behave. So your primary domain is espionage, but I doubt that they see you as espionage agents. They probably see you more as
manufacturers of technical, technically advanced devices. So maybe something like skilled.
Skilled is a good one, yeah. So that would be sort of how you're seen by the other houses that exist. Oh yeah, they're nerds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nerds.
Yep, that's us.
Right. So let's have a look then. Skip on past. Traits. Nope, that was entirely the wrong place to go.
Do we also get a trait for our reputation?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you do. So
we get like Atreides would be honorable, but what I don't know.
So your reputation is skilled.
Yeah, so each house begins with a trait for its primary domain it has.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And then
Yes.
each house has,
yeah.
So it would be like skilled and weird. I don't know.
Skilled and technical, skilled and precise.
Possibly something about,
or skilled and secretive, because I mean we would be keeping our processes and our development of our technologies close to our vest. So maybe secretive, or
it's like we're worth hiring in because we have the technology and we have the skills, but we're not going to tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
What's the term for that?
Proprietary.
Monopoly.
Specialist.
Yeah.
Specialist, maybe. I was wondering if there isn't something about how kind of we have merchants and agents everywhere. So if you're looking for this kind of device, there's one of us.
Oh, hello.
Always around.
I noticed you recently searched for lenses.
Google.
Yeah. How's Google?
Norman Smith 71 said well informed.
Ooh,
and that's not a bad one. That's pretty good.
That is a good one, yeah.
Skilled and well informed.
I quite like that.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with well informed then. Excellent. So, House Dargouche, minor house and service to House Rachis, experts in the manufacture of lenses, and they are very, very skilled at the subtle arts of espionage, which is not widely known. Got a moon, which is a sort of wooded moon around a gas giant with big beaches, temperate woodlands, couple of cities.
Nice, obvious cities.
The houses that people live in out in the countryside are sort of integrated with the environment, making them very ecologically aware and friendly and totally difficult to spy on from space. There's a very low crime rate because if you're a good enough criminal, you get recruited. And if you're a bad enough criminal, you get caught before you do the deed. You've got a happy populace who respect the house and a strong social reward program where the people are taken care of. A lantern in yellow on a background of green. And you are well known as a skilled and well-informed house. Pretty good. So, within the house, then, we have roles. Now, what I'm thinking is for the player characters to be like, not quite second stringers, but hopefuls. So you're not going to be the house leadership, because I think the house leadership is quite old now. So the house is kind of run by your gran, sort of thing, or by so one of the characters doesn't have to be one of you guys, can be an NPC, someone that you would interact with or rely on. Not the heir apparent, but the heir apparent's heir apparent.
The spare.
So, yeah, Granny's kind of looking at hanging on in there, kind of like the British royal family. Granny's hanging on in there until the heir apparent is no longer useful enough to be allowed to take over, and would then prefer to pass it over to a grandchild rather than to her own children. And so she's kind of got a favourite grandchild and has sort of set them up with their own mini court of freshly recruited whatevers. So could be they've got a Bene Gesserit consort or advisor or trainer. They've got a sword master from Ginaz who's training them. So the old guard are still there. The Granny's got her sword master for the house. She's got her spy master, her mentat, and all of those things. But the house is fairly wealthy, and she's been able to splash out on like a backup court, if you like, for the spare. We've had one mentat, yes.
What about second mentat?
So I kind of want the player characters to be like those backups. So rather than being the house spy master, be a mentat who supports the spy master and definitely doesn't have your eye on his job because he's never 75 and not going to last much longer.
Imagine
his processing power has declined in recent years. So common roles that you would have in the house would be the ruler, the consort, the advisor, the envoy, the chief physician, the heir, the marshal, the counselor, the sword master, the scholar, treasurer, spy master, war master, all of those sorts of major roles. So I'd be looking at you guys being a secondary one of those.
Okay.
So what sort of roles do you think you would fill? I know, Aaron, you were quite keen on being a sort of spy master.
Yeah, I would think I'd be like the house inquisitive. So working for the spy master in the field, learning my trade, and then eventually, perhaps someday replacing
If you get in with the heir, then when the heir gets promoted, you get promoted along with them.
Right. He's at the moment, he's primarily like an infiltrator. He gets in places that he's not supposed to be to learn things he's not supposed to know, and then gets back out again without being seen. So he's in training. He's not sitting at the middle of the web yet, but he's working his way there.
Millie, I know you wanted to go Bene Gesserit, didn't you?
Bene Gesserit, yeah. Yeah. I don't mind, like, there's an interesting kind of thing in my brain where there is a Bene Gesserit, but they have this amazing muscle control. So what would a Bene Gesserit warrior be like? Like, what? Like, oh, hello, I'm wonderful and cultured, and I've just put my fist through your face. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
The weirding way is a combat form.
Yeah. So I quite like that, but also I'm happy just to be just to make like a truth seeker.
I have absolutely zero problem with how you want to spec up your Bene Gesserit. How do you see her fitting in?
Well, yeah, and so this is what I don't mind, because obviously I don't know what a Dune wants to be. If a Dune wants to be like the super ninja assassin, then I will be a truth seer and that kind of stuff.
I've done ninja assassin. I can be something else.
It depends.
Well, and also when you're looking at the combat stuff too, I mean, you've got the tactical level with the sword master, and then you've got the strategic level with the war master. So there are options.
I got to admit, I would kind of, and don't take this as pressure. You don't have to go with this, but I would kind of like to see Alden as like a Three Musketeers style sword master. I think that'd be a fantastic thing to behold.
Somewhere between marshal and sword master at the moment, so I can be convinced.
You're cool. Whatever you prefer.
You just want the outrageous French accent again, don't you?
You don't have to have a French accent. No.
I'm going to be a Three Musketeer. Yes, I do.
So are we just going out like full out sort of combat spy things? Because there's maybe like we could have a Bene Gesserit envoy as a role kind of thing.
Yeah,
part of the house. And then I could just make her all sort of like, oh, we got to get out of here now.
And let the punching begin.
Let's go. Could absolutely. Hello, I'm a master diplomat. However,
yeah, I mean, you could have high communication and high battle. I mean, there's no reason you can't.
Yeah.
You were right about one thing, Master. Negotiations were short.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like,
all
right, the gloves are literally coming off. And
let's go.
No, the gloves go on, so you don't damage your pretty knuckles.
So nobody sees that you've just punched everybody to death. Yeah. So all right, I'll be an envoy. I'll be the envoy.
Okie dokie.
Or the envoy in training.
Well, an envoy rather than like the boss.
The envoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An envoy.
There you go. Norm wants you to have a balisette as well now, Alden.
Are we just making Gurney? We're just making Gurney Halleck.
Gurney Halleck was an amazing character.
Oh, yeah.
One day we'll catch him without a quote.
Mood is a thing for cattle.
It's a brilliant line. Oh.
How about, because Swordmaster feels like a lot of responsibility.
you just like the second or third in line to be
well,
the
no, so
this
is what I'm thinking. How about actually, so character starts off as the marshal to this backup corps.
Mm-hmm.
So a bit of the bouncer, a bit of the investigator, a bit of sort of reading through the description of the marshal, he must understand the criminal underworld. So probably come in through the recruitment by being a bit shady and being quite good at being shady, and then getting caught, and then being invited to go, okay, now it's sort of poacher turned gamekeeper.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And being brought in and then being set to keep the law for this third court, with the idea and the aspiration to work up to Swordmaster. There's kind of this glorified aspiration of, look at them, they're amazing, they've spent their entire lives training to be this one thing. Wouldn't it be great to be one of those?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to go for sort of a junior marshal?
Yeah.
So almost like a head of a precinct kind of thing. You've worked your way up from being in a cage to being outside a cage.
To holding the keys. Yes.
Okay, excellent. Splendid. I know one of the NPCs that I've got in mind is this sort of heir, the grand heir, if you like,
mm-hmm.
for the house, and less we happen to stumble across a person who wants to play it at some point. You never know when that might happen. Right, and on to the next bit then. Now that we know who you are and your house is, we need an enemy house. So House Von Meer, I think, is going to be your enemy house, and they're also going to be a Rachis house.
Oh, okay, I get it, yeah.
But whereas you guys are like, no, Rachis are pretty cool. We're okay with them. They're a bit more, these guys have screwed us. They've screwed the entire house. They've stuffed everything up. We're going to take over by whatever means necessary. Mm-hmm. So I see them as a kind of house that wants to take over the great house thing. And are a bit more mercenary about it than maybe you are. So you start with one minor house as an enemy, who's going to be these guys. Ooh, shall we either randomly determine how much they dislike you thing?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Roll those D.
Roll a D20 for me then.
Who's doing it? Oh,
I'll
Adune's got one.
do it.
Adune's ready.
Adune's
I've got a massive one.
He's got a massive one.
Cracking giant dice.
Giant dice. Giant dice running away. Giant dice are bouncy. 4.
4. They dislike you.
I'm sorry, that wasn't very dramatic.
That's not very dramatic.
I got a 17.
Now that's a bit more dramatic. That's probably too dramatic because that's Hanley. We are going to destroy you and everything you stand for.
Can we average those?
I think averaging those is probably a good idea.
So we're like at 11.
So, yeah.
A loathing.
Loathing.
A loathing. Okay.
I'm comfortable being loathed. That's good.
Yeah, they can't stand you. They've got a plan to destroy your house because they see you as a step towards being able to take over.
Yeah.
You probably know too much and see too much, and they know that in order to be able to do it, they've got to get past you.
Okay.
So while you might be aware of their aspirations, you not got the evidence to back it up.
Cool.
Okay, so they loathe you for another D20, please. Millie, it's your turn.
Oh, is it my turn? All right. Okay.
Yeah. Alden's house symbol is a freshly baked good. It's a sandworm made of cinnamon and bread.
14.
Sounds tasty.
Family ties. You've been connected throughout the ages, but there was a breakdown between the two houses and they don't talk anymore.
Oh dear. That's always awkward, isn't it?
Is this because we're going to skip over the one that would put them in power and go straight to the spare?
Quite possibly. You've been intermarried throughout the years, but one house has refused to continue it. Both houses are now divided over it and they blame each other.
Nasty, isn't it?
So it's possible that Grandad was a Von Meer who married into the house and he was the last one. And maybe Grandma let Dad marry into another house. And that was a huge insult to them. So for the last generation, you've been at war with them. Nice. I like it. So they loathe you because of that.
Oh, well.
Now, what are they good at? I think they are... Well, what are they? Tell me about them. Are they an artistic, espionage, farming, industrial, Canley political, military, religious, or science-based house?
I mean, I guess if they're trying to bypass us to take over the Great House, and the Great House is based on technology, they should either be maybe a science-based house. In their arrogance, they think their science is superior to House Ricci's, and they can reestablish dominance in the.
Yeah. Science production, maybe. So
Yeah.
they've actually they want to take the house in a different direction and move away from tech and into biology. So that can potentially give them ties to the Bene Tleilaxi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nobody likes them, except Aaron, who wanted to be one.
I like the idea of
the
face dancers.
And then maybe the secondary specialism is political or military.
What about religious? Because if Richesse is doing machines, and we're not using an AI, but it'd certainly be easier to use an AI, and nobody, that kind of stuff. So
they're a little bit fundamentalist, and they've got this sort of weird take where if you bioengineer something, that's fine, but you can't make a thinking machine.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay, right. Well, that's your enemy house then, and we can get on to your individual characters.
Yeah. Bum, bum, bum.
So Skizax 213 asked, does our rival house know about our espionage focus, or do they think we're just manufacturers?
They probably think that you're manufacturers, but you know an awful lot. So they probably suspicious of you in the same way that you're suspicious of them. And with the close ties between your families, it's we know stuff, we just can't prove it. So, Chapter 4, Creating Your Character. There are countless definitions and interpretations of a life well spent and of the opposite. There are often widely divergent biographies of a particular person. The same individual can be either demon or saint, and even shades of both. From the Wisdom of Muad'Dib by the Princess Irulan. Nice.
Yeah.
If you're a great house and you have no spies, are you really a great house? Nah. Okay, so your player characters are going to be the main characters. We've got a Mentat spy, a Bene Gesserit envoy, and a sort of warden come war master type thing.
Yep.
Oh, house officer. There we go.
House officer.
That's one way of looking at it, yeah. So I think we're going to go with planned creation rather than creation in play, because that way we can sort of showcase the system and the setting a little bit more and really go through what it's like. So we're going through archetypes, skill points, foci, talents, drives, statements, and ending up with a fully formed character. Splendid. Right. So a little bit about the rules. Whenever your actions prove a test of your skill or ability, you need to make a test. Making a test involves rolling 20-sided dice. When you make a test, roll several from 2 to 5 and gain 1 success for each one that rolls equal to or less than the target number. The target number is calculated by adding up the skill you're using and the drive that is driving your actions. So if you have a skill of 6 and a drive of 6, it will give you a target number of 12 to succeed on your actions. If any of your d20s roll a 1, it counts as 2 successes. The same applies if the result is equal to or under your skill, providing you have an applicable focus, which is a type of speciality. So if you have a focus in espionage and you roll a 6 and your skill number is a 6, then it counts as 2 successes. If any dice rolls a 20, you suffer from a complication. GM sets difficulty from 0 to 5. You need as many successes as that. Momentum points can be spent to roll more dice. Traits can reduce the difficulty, and you can use determination points to re-roll or automatically succeed. The GM gets threat points they can use to enhance NPCs and make the situation more dangerous in return. So it's a nice, easy way to mess with our groats. Groats effectively become determination and threat. which is nice.
Uh-oh.
Okie dokie. So you have 2 traits which are descriptions of your character. So your first trait should always mention the house to which you belong. So Duke of House Atreides, House Atreides, Master of Assassins, consort to Duke Leto Atreides, are the examples that it gives you. Second trait is much more personal, and it's sort of about your reputation. So are you just and wise, callous and ruthless, things like that. So on your character sheet, you've got your name, your house, your role, your faction, your personality traits, and your ambition. So your house, first off, is going to be House Dargush.
How are we spelling that?
Dargush.
Oh, cool. Just thought I'd get that right, because that would probably be a big faux pas, and I would be sent home.
Sent home for getting your own house's name right. Sorry.
Get back to the school. Get out.
Sorry. Naughty Benny Jesuit.
I was away that day. I missed it.
Yeah.
So this is in the personality traits box then, on your character sheet. You need one that fits your house and one that fits yourself.
So I've got Inquisitive of House Dargush.
Excuse me.
And my personal one's Precise and Discreet.
Good.
Like, I'm just trying to. Would it be called like an envoy of House Dargush, or would it be more like trying to be like a sales rep or a merchant or
it'd probably be an envoy, because you're less likely to be doing the direct trading, or ambassador is a good one. You'll be a cut above the reps, so this would be when you're dealing with maybe major purchasers. Instead of just sending in a rep, you send in the local area manager.
Area manager of House Dargush.
Regional director.
Yeah. No, I like it. I actually think it fits with the house that we keep our envoys and our special espionage agents just sounding so banal that everyone just goes, "Oh yeah, it's Phil. Yeah, he's the regional manager. Yeah, that's it. What?
Okay.
What about your second trait then, Millie? The one that's you.
This is where I struggle in these days.
Polite and ultra violent.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I like polite and ultra violent. Let's go with that.
Please stop.
And you get a third trait. So, Aaron, you get Mentat conditioning, and Millie, you get Bene Gesserit's sister.
What do I get?
You don't necessarily get a third trait, Aldun.
I haven't done my other 2 traits yet.
Because you're not a sword master of Guinness, and you're not. I suppose you would have house officer as a trait, but that'd be one of your first traits. So, officer of House Dargush.
I can't be junior marshal. Oh,
Be a junior marshal if you prefer that.
I could be junior marshal of House Dargush.
Yeah, that's cool.
And my secondary traits are ambitious and dangerous.
Nice.
I don't want to be junior for very long.
No, don't call me junior.
Is there some sort of subculture in our house where if you can get the dirt on the person before you and they haven't hidden it, like if you're not discreet enough and you can expose them, you immediately get their job.
Seems reasonable, doesn't it? It's the kind of thing that a house of spies has.
It seems to, and it fits, I would say, with everything else.
Sorry, mate, he rucked up with the evidence. You're out of a job.
Done.
You're busted back down to junior rating.
You now answer to them.
Cutthroat.
Then there are some employer-employee relationships where it's done as a little bit of a joke and a bit of a one-upmanship. Like, got you again, Dave.
Got you there. Yeah, you had curry for tea again. 3 nights in a row, mate. I'm watching you. Habits are forming. All right. Anyway.
Right, and then there are the skills. So as you can see on your skills, you have battle, communicate, discipline, move, and understand as your skills. Now, skills have a base of 4.
Okay.
Battle is for fighting, communicating is persuading and deceiving, discipline is controlling your own mind and body, move is pretty much what it says in the tin, and understand is processing information and recalling it.
Okay.
Now, from those skills are rated from 4 to 8.
And they're somewhat based on archetype, right?
Yes, they are somewhat based on archetype. That's a good point. So your archetype will affect what those might be.
All right.
Oh.
And this is where I have to start jumping back and forth through the book a little bit to find the right bits.
Archetypes start on page 122.
122.
So you say that, but that's not always the case on
PDFs.
True. That's a good point.
It's 126 for talents.
Yeah.
We don't want talents yet. We're still on traits.
It's skipping ahead.
Oh, okay. What are the War Master battle archetypes? Is that the stuff we're looking at?
Yes.
Yep.
So
114. I've got. That starts with the battle archetypes.
Yeah.
No, it's not, because that hasn't got the thingy on.
Is it not?
The skills.
113. 113.
Go back a little bit further.
113.
113.
Archetypes at a glance.
Archetypes at a glance. Yeah.
The actual PDF page is 113.
Yeah, 122. Well, it says 123 in the bottom corner as well.
Yeah.
Oh, but here we go. I found the bits that I'm looking for. It's actually a little bit before that.
Okay.
So Bene Gesserit's sister.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get you.
Has the additional trait Bene Gesserit.
Oh, yeah.
And then there are a number of suggested archetypes that you could go with. And there is a mandatory talent that you have to take, which is the Pranabindu conditioning.
Sweet.
As a Mentat, you get the additional trait of Mentat. Suggested archetypes are there. Mandatory talent, you have to pick at least one of Foreknowledge, Mentat Discipline, Mind Palace, Twisted Mentat. Please don't choose Twisted Mentat.
I am not.
Let's keep the Bene Tlilax out of our business for now.
Yeah, I'm taking Mentat Discipline, I believe.
Very sound. So yeah, there is no special archetype for you there, Alden.
I'm sad.
But that's okay.
That means you
gives
get
you a bit more freedom in character creation.
Hooray!
Primary skill for your archetypes. So then we come on to the archetypes. Bear with me a little bit. I did only read this today, so where I'm flipping back and forth a bit, that's why. So your archetypes at a glance give you primary skill, secondary skill, single trait, suggested it gives you 2 foci for your primary skill, suggestions provided, and you get a talent, suggestions provided. So if you're going to be a war master, are you going duelist, tactician, sergeant, or warrior?
Feels like sergeant.
I think sergeant does kind of work, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So your primary skill is battle.
Ah.
Which means that your primary skill goes up to... Primary skill is 6.
Okay.
Secondary skill is 5.
Oh, okay. I see how it does now.
My secondary skill
So your secondary skill is communicate.
You horrible lot!
And then it gives you a couple of suggestions for secondary skills, foci, talents, and drives.
Oh, I like short blade. Oh no, that's duelist. See, I'm looking at the wrong one now. Long blades. Stabby,
Long blades.
Stabby, stabby.
So, Millie, Envoy.
Yeah. I'm looking at that. I'm wondering.
Or are you happier going with one of the disciple ones?
Well, this is like, I'm wondering if there are talents that will let you trade move for battle and that kind of stuff. No, there's none in this one.
What you can do. So Envoy is communicate move.
Mm-hmm.
There is a communicate battle one. It's commander. Then there's a battle communicate one, which is sergeant. And there's move and battle, which is duelist.
No, because I think
smuggler.
I think she needs to have some level of
you do get some bonus points to spend as well.
Okay. No.
And you don't necessarily have to use battle to fight with.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
The way it's set up is that if you want to, you could use move to fight with because you're so damn fast.
Yeah.
Or you could even use communication to throw them off. You know, basically you're deceiving them in some way, and then you're.
But if you're ultra violent, you probably want to.
Yeah.
Go for move or battle. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I think.
Protector is discipline in battle.
Discipline actually would be a thing for a Bene Gesserit, wouldn't it? Discipline.
Yeah, and that way you could be setting yourself up to be the protector of the heir apparent.
Yeah. All right. Let's go with the protector one.
Okay, so that gets you discipline as your primary and battle as your secondary.
So, discipline would be 6. Is that right? No, 8.
Yes. It would be 6.
6. And then, what was the secondary one? Sorry.
Battle. And it starts at 5.
And that's at 5.
And then your other 2 are at 4.
All right. Cool.
Aaron, I'm guessing you're probably going to go for spy?
Infiltrator.
Ooh, discipline and move. Nice. Yep. So your discipline starts at 6, your move starts at 5. And then you have 5 more points to spend amongst your skills up to a maximum of 8.
Okay.
So this is where your secondary skills get bumped up a little bit, or your primary skills go outrageous.
2.
Well, remember, if you want to have a focus in a particular skill, you have to have a minimum of a 6 in that skill to have a focus in it.
Yes.
Think. 2.
So I set up with battle at 5, communicate at 4, discipline at 6, move at 7, and understand at 6. Because he's all about moving quietly and getting from place A to place B without anybody knowing about it.
Yeah, that's a good combo. You don't talk to people You're not that kind of spy. You're the kind of spy that watches, records, remembers.
Yep.
Perfect for a mentat.
You were never there.
Exactly.
It is by will alone I set my mind in motion.
Who was that nondescript little fellow we saw running around? I don't know.
I didn't see nothing. I'm going to go with Battle 8. Communicate 6, Discipline 4, Move 6, and Understand 4. Slightly undisciplined.
It's not my job.
Not really paying attention, but by God, I will thump you in the face.
I'm not sure.
Slow blade might penetrate the shield, but the elbow drop will put you on your back regardless.
I'm not sure I've done my maths right. How many points do I have again?
You get 5
Primary
additional
skill starts
points.
at 6. Secondary skill starts at 5.
All right.
Other 3 start at 4.
Okay.
And then you add a further 5 points.
All right. I just need to start again because I can't math. Let me just go again. All right. Sorry.
That's okay.
Mathing. That would be fun.
So I've already got the
hard.
focuses of long blades and strategy. Or I've taken them because they were recommended. Do we get other foci, or is that it for now?
You will have a total of 4 foci.
4. Okay.
So there's the ones suggested, but you don't have to take them if you don't want to.
No,
There are others. Sense. You will also have 3 talents. Faction characters have to pick certain talents. So Millie has to have the Pranabindu talent.
Yeah.
And Aaron has to have one of the Mentat talents at least. You have a total free choice on talents. You can pick whatever you like.
4 focuses or foci, depending on what we're calling them, and 3 talents in total.
Yes.
Okay. Gosh, time to go shopping.
Oh yes, it's your favourite bit of any role-playing game.
Yeah. Well, we haven't even got to the assets yet, so we're not even doing the proper shopping.
All right. I think I've done my maths right. I'm going to go with Battle 7. Communicate 5, Discipline 8, and then Move and Understand of 4.
Okay.
So if I don't move that gracefully, maybe they're looking at the clumsy Bene Gesserit.
It's going to be very distracting.
There's move and then there's move, though.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I mean, it might be that you're implacable like Terminator.
That would be cool.
So you don't run after them. You'll walk, but you'll catch them.
Eventually. They're not getting away.
Yeah, all right. Cool. So that's my skills done. What am I looking at next in the?
Next, we're looking at foci or focuses, as it says in the book, and every time it says it, I go like that.
Yeah, not just
Can't
me.
help myself.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
So
help me understand what these because the suggested ones for Protector are resolve and self-control.
yes.
Are they specifically assigned? Like I'm coming from the Star Trek adventures here, and this is where they get a little bit fluffy to me.
Yes. This is where it does get a little bit fluffy. You are not wrong.
Okay, that's fine. That's under that.
Yes,
So,
if you can make the argument.
Yeah. You're quite right. This is the fluff bit. Can you make the? It's a bit like Mage, only fluffier.
Okay.
Because if you can make the argument that you're using the focus, you can your crit range on that roll is expanded.
So there is a list of focuses.
Suggested somewhere.
I think it's up under the skill section.
I think it is. Here we go. Those are statements. So it's above the statements. It's above drives. Here we go. Foci. So anything you've got a 6 in, you can have a focus in.
Oh, yes.
You can have up to a total of 4 foci. So, for example, a battle focus could be assassination, atomics, dirty fighting. 103 on the PDF.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, I've caught up now.
I would say atomics probably not worth your time.
Oh,
I mean, you can have it if you want.
Play with the family atomics.
Just strap a nuke to my head and nut it. No? Okay, fine.
No.
So I've chosen precision and infiltration as focuses under discipline, stealth as a focus under move, and danger sense as a focus under understand.
Very wise.
I might take intimidation under communicate.
You think?
You're a little maggot.
I'm already a little intimidated, so it's working.
And this is if we've got higher than a 5 or higher in our skill. We're
6 or higher.
6 or higher. Okay.
6 or higher in a skill, you can have one of your 4 foci in it.
So because I've only got 2 skills that are over 6, I can have.
You have to put all 4 of your foci
in
into those 2 skills.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I understand. I feel like I am making a Terminator here because we could just go with like self-control and composure.
Yeah.
And then like unarmed combat and sneak attacks or something.
Go for it.
Something like that.
Sounds brilliant.
It's just horrible Bene Gesserit.
I'm going to go for grace, I think, in moving. No, I'm
Grace in my movement.
No, I'm not.
We're
back to Ray again. Yeah, let's do Ray. Come on.
No, don't do Ray. Don't do full Ray.
I don't want full Ray.
Nobody goes full Ray.
This is worth a full Ray. We could go full ground pounder and just do.
Have you seen the Sci-Fi Channel version of Dune, Alden?
No.
It's a shame. It's very, very good. I really rather enjoyed it. But the actor who plays Gurney Halleck in that is no Patrick Stewart. Bless him.
Oh dear.
He tries, but he's a little bit more Ray Winston than he is Gurney Halleck. So you remember when Patrick Stewart delivers the mood is a thing for cattle and lovemaking. When this chap does it, it's like mood is a thing for cattle and lovemaking. And he's a little bit more coming up from the streets, Gov. Fantastic show, though. I do intend to watch it before next week.
All of it.
Yeah. All of it.
All of it. Yeah.
It's 9 hours. I can handle that.
Yeah. This is in the U.S. This is the Memorial Day weekend. I got 5 days off, and
nice.
There you go.
All right, I'm torn between in the battle focuses. I'm starting there. So we've gone with unarmed combat because that's pretty cool. And then I'm torn between something like shield fighting or evasive action.
I will say when you're looking at
shield,
and when you're looking at fighting, if you have assets like a knife or a sword, those assets improve your ability to do damage in combat. Whereas unarmed combat doesn't really have any assets associated
I'm inclined to agree with Aaron, and I would suggest swapping because everybody has knives. Nobody's going to look twice, even if you're a Bene Gesserit with a knife.
Oh, okay.
Like short blade.
I would suggest that short blades and shield fighting would be a good combo, or short blades and sneak attack as well, or short blades and evasive action. As a Bene Gesserit, never mind the shield, you've got the weirding way.
Okay.
I think you're even allowed to make up a focus. So I mean, you could do a focus on the weirding way.
Yeah.
Because these are just suggestions. If you've got one that fits better for your character concept, as long as the game master's okay with it, you can make it up.
And as is widely known, I am a total pushover when it comes to cool powers.
Well, and the weirding way makes just a lot of sense. I mean, you're a Bene Gesserit, so why wouldn't you have a focus in the weirding way?
If you're allowed, if you wouldn't mind, I will put the weirding way as one of my battle focuses. We'll go full film here.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Battle focus the weirding way. So as soon as you shift into the Bene Gesserit combat mode, It's full on lightning fast moves, and while your move might not be great when you're using the style, because you have absolute control over your muscles, you've got this sort of pinpoint accuracy thing going on.
All right.
That's also done very well in the Sci-Fi Channel version of Dune. Much better than the film where they had those weirding modules. You know, where's that coming from?
That was just wrong.
Is it worth me taking espionage as a discipline? Is that my other thing? Discipline focus, or is everybody going to be so espionage focused I could just ignore it?
I think you could probably ignore espionage if Aaron's going to have it as his main thing.
Yeah, okay.
But observe is still going to be very useful.
Yeah. All right. I will take... I think I'll take observe and self-control as my discipline.
I am the perfect envoy. Look at me, hear me talk nicely. I remain in total control as I punch your kidneys out through your eye sockets.
Stab.
There we go. They're my focuses. We got there in the end.
Splendid news. Right, so that's focuses.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Oh, excellent. That's good.
I won't promise it's a good answer.
So there's a lot of talk about blades.
There is.
Obviously, so forgive me, most of my knowledge, I have read some of the first book, but most of my knowledge of Dune comes from the film with Sting and Patrick Stewart and others. Yes, so I know there's the slow blade beats the shield kind of thing. How do we feel about bludgeoning weapons?
Bludgeoning weapons are fine. You can absolutely bludgeon. Not everybody's going to have a shield. Shields are the province of the nobility or highly ranked soldiers. So a shield and a bludgeoning weapon is a great threat. I mean, even a half shield and a bludgeoning weapon is a fantastic threat. You've got a shield on one half of your body and a big club on the other side. People are going to be like, that's horrible. Why would you do that? The problem with shields is if you shoot a shield with a las gun, it has an effect like an atomic and is considered a war crime.
Let's not do that then. So can I then swap out my focus of long blades for bludgeoning?
Yes, because it's funny.
Because I could just see my character sort of... It's partly the swagger stick and it's partly some sort of staff of office.
Good. I'm glad you've gone for a staff of office rather than like a 2x4 or a length of pipe.
Oh, I am also taking dirty fighting, so there will also be 2x4s,
yes,
and mugs to the face, and the nearest chair, or the nearest
Norm
person
has pointed
who's
out that you
annoyed
can
me.
use a shield as a blunt weapon as well.
Well, yeah, there we go. Okay, good. I'm going to take that then.
Jolly good.
I'm in no way making a dwarf.
Do you come from a high gravity world?
I've taken Swift as my move focus, so not a dwarf, clearly.
Suggesting you're a natural sprinter. I always hated that about Lord of the Rings. I really do. I always bring this up. Dwarves aren't natural sprinters. They are natural marathon runners. Elves are natural sprinters.
Stamina. It's all
That's
about
the thing
stamina.
that bothers me most about Lord of the Rings. That really takes me out of the movie, that one little bit.
Yep.
Right, so we've got our focuses.
Yeah.
Taken care of. Let's get into our drives. So you have a series of drives on your character sheet. And they are duty, faith, justice, power, and truth. Many of which double up as the principles in the film Moulin Rouge. Or the names of those 4 Japanese girls that followed Gwen Stefani around for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
In that horribly colonialist way that she did.
Yeah.
Nope.
Her first solo album, she had...
I don't need to know. I've chosen not to know. I don't want to know.
I respect your choice not to know.
Please don't tell me, otherwise I'm going to have to drink a lot of
useless information I have in my head will remain there.
Thank you.
So, duty, faith, justice, power, and truth. You rate them 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4.
Okay.
From most important to least important.
All right.
That's interesting.
So duty is pressure upon you to find your place in society, fulfill your allotted role. Faith is moral expectation and spiritual needs, dedication to a higher power and destiny. Justice is balance and fairness. Power is pursuit of influence, authority, and control.
Ooh, yeah.
Truth is the desire for knowledge and to uncover or define that which is or isn't true.
Oh, Aaron.
If you have a rating of 4 in it, you don't really care about it. And if you have a rating of 8 in it, it is the most important thing for you.
Got truth 8, duty 7, power 6, justice 5, faith 4.
Duty.
Duty.
That's so childish. Yeah, I think definitely faith is the dump stat.
All right, I've gone with duty 8, faith 5, justice 7, power of 4, and a truth of 6.
Nicey nice.
Well, let's go power 8. just ambitious, you know.
Good noise,
Duty
Lance, don't do
7, justice 6, truth 5, faith 4.
Sharon else just asked, if truth is super important to you, doesn't that mean you don't lie? No, it does not, actually.
Means you want the truth.
It means you want the truth. You have absolutely no qualms about whether other people get it necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It can be about consolidating truth in one person.
Yeah.
It's also good for uncovering secrets.
Yeah. Not making paladins.
In the 3 drives that you have 6 or more in, you get a drive statement.
Okay.
So similar to your earlier statements for your character traits, this is where we're looking at sort of named statements. So, for example, a duty statement would be, I serve at the pleasure of the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, total loyalty to the house above all. But it could also be duty is a sharp blade. And that could mean many things, either being constantly ready for battle, or sometimes duty gets in the way of other things that you value. And that's a difficult decision to have to make.
Duty is a heavy stick.
So page 106 of the PDF has the duty statements on, has all the statements on even, and a fetching picture of a sandworm smashing some stuff up.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Here's a fetching picture.
So I think for my truth statement, it's I act to control the truth.
Flow of information, good, yeah.
And power, the control of knowledge is power. And and duty, I will protect House Dargush even from themselves.
Oh, very nice.
So what was your top one, Millie?
It is duty. It's a duty quote.
Well, if you're a Terminator, what must be done has some mileage. But remember, you've got potentially slightly split duties as well, because you're a Bene Gesserit as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a part of the program there. So your duty statement could be about divided loyalties.
Yeah.
I know my responsibilities is, again, a double-edged blade, isn't it?
Yeah, I also like the idea that a lot of Bene Gesserits don't know why they've been sent there to do this.
Like, I get the feeling that the Sisterhood kind of looked at you and went, yeah, this one's not a concubine.
Yeah. Not a concubine.
Special taste.
Yeah. Ooh, there's a raid. Welcome, Dirty 20 Live. Thank you for raiding. Whoop. So I'm wondering if there's some mileage in like duty is blind. You know, I don't need to know your reasoning. This is just I have to do.
I'll do it because I'm told. Yeah, that's good.
Understanding is not necessary. Only obedience.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's very Junie.
All right, I'm going to steal that. And spell it badly.
So, Aaron, you've given me your 3 duty statements already. Sorry. Alden, have you got yours?
I'm toying with something like, I've forgotten what it was now. Duty is a heavy weight.
Yeah.
Or club. Depending on how I'm feeling.
I can't wait for you to use that as an excuse for why your duty counts for a fighting role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Duty in battle.
Yep.
I don't want to club this bloke in the face, but I'm absolutely gonna.
I'm bound by duty to break your skull.
My power was my top one. I don't think I like any of the ones they've suggested there. I'm more tempted with something like, what's the point of power if you can't wield it?
Yeah, that's still a good one. All power invites challenge is quite a good one, I think, because it's like, I'm standing here in front of my house because you challenged us. But what's the point in power if you can't use it is also a good one.
Yeah.
More fitting. And then my other one was justice. Basically, I'm building a character that hits people in the head with heavy things, aren't I?
Justice is what you can get away with?
No.
Life isn't fair. Anyone who tells you differently is trying to sell you something.
Or the antithesis, which is I have no patience for those who complain that life is unfair. Shut up, worm.
I know life's unfair. I got here out of prison.
Yeah. Almost something more around the everyone should be treated equally, where everyone gets a fair chance.
Sounds remarkably socialist for June. Go for it. It's kind of a Fremeny attitude in many ways.
I come up from the streets, so
yeah, which will help should you encounter any of them.
Everyone deserves a fair crack in the head. No,
everybody's a fair target.
No one's safe.
I don't care how shiny your buttons are. Millie, what about you?
All right. So for justice, I've gone with faith in system. Faith in the systems is the real justice. Like you've got to. She's a Bene Gesserit. She has to believe that whatever these people are doing,
they've been doing it for thousands of years. Yeah. They've probably got a clue by now.
Yeah, and I don't need to understand it, which falls into the truth. Whereas if I do not know it, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Which fits in with like a spy kind of house. Like, don't tell me. I'll just go over there and smile at them until you tell me to punch them.
That's above my pay grade.
That's fine by me. I'm good with that.
Need to know.
That's there we go. That's that.
What about a third one?
Understanding is not necessary. Only obedience. That's my that's my duty one.
Nice.
That I stole off Dune.
I stole it from Babylon 5, so that's fine.
Excellent.
Right, so then we have an ambition. Now, ambition has its own special little spot on your character sheet.
Yeah.
Because this is the one major thing that drives you. This is how you get XP. It's a short phrase describing your ultimate goal or desire, defined by your highest rated drive at the time of character creation. So duty is about service to a cause or group, discovering or understanding your place in the universe. Faith is about crusades, spiritual fulfillment, prophecy or destiny. Justice is about fairness, balance, desire to right wrongs and injustices, including personal grudges and vendettas. Power is about gaining influence or status, manipulating people with influence or status, or changing the way that people gain influence or status. And truth is about uncovering knowledge or secrets, concealing knowledge or protecting secrets, and spreading knowledge or exposing the lies of others. You can change your ambition over time. If your highest rated drive changes, your ambition changes with it.
Oh.
So look at your 8.
Power.
And think about where you would go with that.
So this is the ultimate ambition.
This is your current ambition for your character.
He wants to be the House War Master.
So that would be a power one, wouldn't it? That's a power ambition.
Yep.
Become War Master of House Dargouche.
House Dargouche. Yep.
Totally acceptable.
Going to be captain of the Musketeers, not one of the 3 Musketeers.
Be the captain of the Musketeers. So something around duty. Duty, service to a cause or a group.
It could be about reconciling your duty to the house and the sisterhood.
Yeah. Ambition is to prove that my placement in the house is part of the plan.
Yeah.
It's like I've not just been put here because I need to be put out the way. Like, I'm not a broken part of the plan. I am a useful, and I'm advancing the plan. Yeah, okay.
And I think mine is going to be uncover knowledge or secrets to further House Dargesh's goals.
Good. It's very Junie if we've got that kind of the house is still very important to me vibe. I mean, if you look at it, even the Harkonnens, it was about the house. It wasn't just about the individuals within the house. Sure, they were jockeying for position inside the house, but at the same time, they still wanted to further the cause of the house.
Yeah.
So the Baron knew that he wasn't going to be emperor, but he wanted his nephew to marry the emperor's daughter to get the family closer to the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Jessica knew that the only way she could save Paul was by buying into the myths and legends of the Fremen. So she absolutely did that. And she did that to ensure her son's survival, but also the survival of her husband, not her husband, her partner's house.
Yeah.
And yeah, Elephant in the Room, written when it was, Dune is a little bit sexist and misogynist in its views and has become a little bit dated over time. The newer Dune books are a little bit more egalitarian in that regard. But it's talking about a very feudal society, so it does very much go into existing feudal societies to explain what was going on with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right, talents. You get 3 talents.
Okay.
There are some recommended ones. They are indeed very well written, Garblag. It is true. And there are a buttload of talents. They start on page 127 of the PDF. Some of them are linked to skills. Some of them are linked to specific roles. So you can't take adrenaline shot unless you're a sook doctor, for instance.
Okay.
Combat medic or...
But you can choose 3 talents for your character based off of the list that you've got there. Adrenaline shot, advisor, binding promise, bold, bolster. There's loads. I'm not going to read them all out because we'll be here all evening just having me read those out. Some are better than others. Some are more useful than others. So, for instance, the hyper awareness one is Bene Gesserit's only. So, Millie, if you wanted it, you could take that.
Cool. Maybe I will.
There is a constantly watching, which is a kind of more baseline version of the same thing, which I quite like. I might go for the whole 360 check the room kind of thing.
That's a really good one. When you attempt a skill test to detect danger or hidden enemies, you reduce the difficulty by 2.
Fits with the protector house officer.
Yeah. And when an enemy tries to keep the initiative, you can increase the cost of that. So at the minute, if you want to keep the initiative, it costs you 2 momentum or 2 threat. For the bad guys. That would double it to 4, which is a heft. That's more than I would get from the start of the adventure.
Oof.
That's expensive. Let's do that. I think some of these it's a bit hard to pick without knowing how the game system works.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a complaint. This is the way I think that we all need to recognise for most games that actually, and I need to constantly recognise this for games, is the first time you play it, you are learning how to play.
Mm-hmm.
So you're probably going to come back and go, oh, okay, that character was a nerf.
But to an element, because this is going to be one of the first actual plays of this game, because it is literally hot off the presses.
It's super exciting.
It means that we're going to be able to show other people how to learn how to play through our cock-ups.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm quite tempted by constantly watching. Partly because it makes sense, partly because it sounds useful. There's one called Direct, which looks super powerful. That looks really quite sexy. It's once per scene. Definition of a scene is a encounter, game.
That is quite a potent talent, yeah.
It is, isn't it?
It's like, you, go now. And you basically pull someone into your initiative turn, and then they act on their initiative turn as well.
Yeah. Only once a scene. So that's its kind of constrainer, but it's one of those kind of...
It's perfect for a sort of sergeant at arms kind of character, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Shoot him now! What are you doing?
Oh, so I get 3 talents. My prana bindu conditioning, that counts as one of them, doesn't it?
That counts as one of them,
yes.
yes.
Okay, yeah. Just occurred to me then.
Ooh, the other memory.
Yeah, I have to be a Reverend Mother, though. Not that yet.
That's true.
I have to go to Dune and do that ritual stuff. I'm definitely going to take rapid recovery. You return to fighting form quickly after being injured, even when it may be risky to return to the fray. Once per scene at the start of your turn, you may add +2 threat to remove a complication which represents an injury. In addition, you may pay to resist defeat 1 additional time during a conflict.
Nice. So you're basically upgrading yourself from T800 series to the T1000 series.
Yeah. Your little bullet holes are sealing up.
Are you going to take the voice?
Oh, I don't know.
I love the voice.
It is a communicate power.
Yeah, I'm not particularly brilliant at communicate. I'm only a 5. Well, no, I'm a 5. I'm a 5 in that.
To fight someone is to know them.
Maybe that one. That's a skill.
That's a pretty good one, yeah.
That is quite tasty, actually. It seems to fit with the house as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The reason I fight might be a good one for you, Alden.
I was wondering. But I was also quite tempted by improvised weapon. Well, dirty fighting, it kind of seems to go together.
Yeah.
With a lamp you, with a lamp.
Quite literally, gonna lamp you.
So I took Mentat Discipline, which gives... So you have almost perfect recall for even the most complex data. When making an understand test that applies to recalling data, one of the D20s in your pool may be considered to have rolled a 1. So that's automatically 2 successes on 1 die.
It's an auto crit in a lot of cases, yeah.
And then I did take the suggested one of Subtle Step. When you attempt a move test to sneak or otherwise pass unseen through an area, or when you attempt to move an asset subtly during conflict, the first extra D20 you purchase for the test is free.
Ah, nice.
Right? Extra D20 at no cost.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last talent I took was Nimble. When attempting a move test to move over, around, or through difficult terrain or similar physical obstacles, such as during a duel or skirmish, you may reduce the difficulty of the test by 2. If this reduces the difficulty to 0, you may move over or around the obstacle freely as if it wasn't there. So as an infiltrator, I see this guy being, nimble, going, getting around security features and things like that.
You're in and out without being noticed.
Exactly.
I think I'm going to go a bit left. I'm going to take the Mask of Power talent.
Ooh,
you can
nice.
Intimate that you know more than you do about an enemy's secrets. Once per scene, you may create an asset at no cost, such as blackmail evidence or an owed favor that will allow you to initiate an intrigue or espionage with the person of your choosing. It's a lie. It's like I don't have it. And then the asset is removed at the end of the conflict. And if I lose the conflict, then they know I was just styling it out. But I think that works well. Mask of Power. I'm going to take that one.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, is that everybody's talents sorted then?
Yeah.
So it's constantly watching, direct, and probably improvised weapon.
Right. It looks like we might be up to the hardest part of character creation then.
Not the name.
Yes, it's the name.
Oh, is there a random generator I can use?
You get to select one additional trait for your character regarding your reputation, how others see you. Doesn't have to be true. It's just how other people see you. You've got your ambitions sorted already.
How do people see this?
And again, it doesn't have to be true. So if you wanted to take cowardly, it probably won't last very long on any of you as a trait, because as people quickly come to realize that it's not true. But thinking about the house and the way the house seems to work, you've got this sort of espionage speciality. So traits like innocuous or things like that might actually be quite helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking something like Cypher, like he is literally unknown, an unknown quantity. I think innocuous might be a good way of putting it too.
Cypher would imply to me more difficult to read. You don't give anything away.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, like he's unknown.
Innocuous would be like I'd ignore you if you were in the room,
right.
Whereas Cypher would be I'm trying to read you and it's not working.
Yeah, I think Cypher, especially as a Mentat. I mean, he's just got, absolute control over his faculties and he's just unreadable.
And you're not a twisted mentat, are you?
No, 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 no.
Oh, good.
I am not a sociopath. I'm a straight up good guy for the house.
Raw.
Looking at you here, Peter DeVries.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
So my character's name is Isaac Roque. Izak. Last name Roque. Roque.
hmm, hmm.
I'm going to go with Gruff. Not as my name, but as my trait.
Oh, okay, good. I was a little bit worried there that you were actually playing a bulldog.
Gruff.
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 Gruff is a good trait, yeah.
Seemingly straight up, gruff, no nonsense, but obviously working for part of an espionage house. So
Sean Pertwee in Dog Soldiers.
Oh, I love that film.
kind
I
of.
am a professional soldier.
My favourite line in that is where he gives his watch and they say, "How are you going to tell what time it is?" It's like, "Oh, I'll count." That's it. I'll just count. That's the best. It's not the best bit of the film, but it's my favourite line. What is this Bene Gesserit's? What does everybody think about her?
And it could be something about how they can't get a read off of her.
What, like,
Is she a sales rep? Is she a diplomat? Is she a witch? Can she tell what I'm thinking?
Yes.
And you could have something like unknowable
yeah.
as a trait. And sure, it might go away as your character settles and we get more of an idea for a more appropriate trait. But there's nothing wrong with starting.
Yeah. Unknowable. What's enigmatic? Is that
Enigmatic is even better.
Yes, I like that.
There we go. Oh, come on, PDF. Do as you're told.
They want you to be called Paula Mudabil.
Paula Mudabil. Okay.
It's Nara Nixaka coming out of the woodwork.
Thank you.
What is the name of the mouse shadow in the second moon? See, technically, I qualify as a Muad'Dib.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hiding from the sun.
Uh-huh.
Teacher of boys.
Yeah.
It's the two traits that they associate with the mouse shadow in the second moon.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, I need a name now.
Paula Abdul. No.
No.
Nope. I have found a name generator online. I am called Gretchen Riddle.
Oh.
And Riddle is perfect as well because of your enigmatic nature.
Yeah.
There we go.
Gretchen.
Don't know, still thinking.
Well, think about what accent you're going to go with, Alden.
Oh.
Because then you can pick a name that fits the accent, can't you?
Or Paula. Probably not Paula. Gotta say, not gonna be
You
that
know,
one.
Africana's out because you've used that one.
Oh yeah, I can't do that again.
Your East London one's out because you've done that.
Well, if we count the ones I've done already, then I'm going to run out.
Oh, okay.
It's only so many that I can maintain for any length of time.
True. Would the house have one shared accent or many?
Probably many.
Yeah, there's a big
Obviously,
universe
the
out
educated people would speak in received pronunciation.
I think I can do Dutch.
He's an enlisted man, don't you know?
Yes. Right.
Oh, God, if you're an enlisted man, you could actually be a sharp if you want. No, don't be a sharp, be a blunt. What's Sharp's first name?
I'm going to go with Morgan. I like Morgan. Morgan van der Graaf. No.
Just the whole Van der Graafs throughout the generations.
Yeah, actually. There we go. Morgan van der Graaf.
10,000 years in the future.
Yep. I'll think about an accent.
Can we drop some of the Van der bit, maybe?
Morgan Graaf?
Morgan Graaf?
Morgan Graaf works.
We could even spell it differently. Make it Graph. PH at the end.
It still works with the F. F is good.
Double F?
Yeah, there you go.
Morgan
It's
Graaf.
got Gruff built into it.
Morgan Graaf.
Morgan Graaf. Who's Gruff? Gruff Graff. But if you call me that, I'm going to smash your face in.
Oh, you call me that, I'll grind your organs. Morgan the Organ, that's what they call me.
Looking for the organ grinder or the monkey?
You got no monkeys here. I thought it was Richard. All right.
Yeah, you don't want to call yourself Dick Blunt, though, do you?
No.
Nobody wants to be called that.
No, really don't.
So we got our traits, we got our ambitions, we got our names. Oh, silly me. There's actually a list of names there on page 123.
Oh, you.
I'm so cheeky. So then you've got your personality, your relationships, how you get on with the others. You probably don't know each other particularly well, thinking about appearances and what you've got going on for yourselves. And then we're there. We've got a house. We've got our characters. Nice job.
But assets.
We get some
Assets, of course.
Shopping.
Silly man.
This is why people come and watch this stuff. For the
Yep.
shopping.
It's for the shopping.
Watch me buy an elephant and use it
You
as
are
a
not
blunt
having
weapon.
an elephant.
Oh, you say that now.
Do you really want to spend one of your 3 assets on an elephant? What am I saying? Of course you do.
I'm going to use it as improvised weapon.
Well, all right.
gonna throw.
So, assets. Assets are a special kind of trait which describes a tool, resource, or something else useful. Some
Like
of
an
them are
elephant.
tangible and represent physical things. Others are intangible and represent contacts, favors, and things like that. A starting character has 3 assets, one of which must be tangible. All 3 of them can be if you want. One has to be. Bear in mind, your personal assets can include anything you can carry on your person, a vehicle you can operate yourself, a group of subordinates you could lead. Anything bigger than that, you have to requisition from your house. You can also requisition general equipment from your house. Most of you are able to requisition pretty much whatever you need from the house. However, stuff that you requisition from the house, you can lose. Assets, you can only lose in the short term. So, can't believe I nearly forgot assets. Chapter 7, assets. Come on, chapter 7.
Ooh, they're split up into like different, like espionage or warfare or.
Yes, and your assets are used differently depending on what they are. So, Chapter 7, Assets. There we go. The advent of the field process, shield, and the lasgun with explosive interaction placed current determinatives on weapons technology. Dun, dun, dun. Tools and resources. So you have an asset. It has a name. It has a keyword, 2 to 3 keywords. You begin play with 3. They decrease difficulty on rolls, and they can have qualities that increase. So you may, when creating an asset, improve its quality to represent something that's better than average. So if you wanted to, you could have, it says to spend momentum when creating an asset, but that's when you're creating one during play. I think when we're creating assets out of play, I will call it, I'll let you have a tangible asset at level 1, plus 2 level 0 assets, which can be tangible or intangibles. So a 0 level asset is ordinary, average, basic in function and effect. And a quality 1 is above average quality and effective, unusual in some way. So if, for example, you wanted to spend your tangible level 1 quality asset on a shield, you might have a shield that was miniaturized because it was a Rechise shield. So instead of having a big clunky belt pouch, it looks like a regular belt buckle, but is a shield. A spiky stick versus a regular stick, says Norman.
Yes. I was just going to make it pretty.
Pretty stick.
Pretty stick.
And then there are various personal assets. And there's ranged weapons, and there's melee weapons. Oh, what's a pulse sword? That's cool. It's a vibroblade.
Yeah, basically.
You got your armor, communications equipment. Oh, Aaron. Cebus hood.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I thought that had to be one. Yeah, that'll probably be my quality 1. Probably that and a dart gun, and then I think a courtesan as a contact. Somebody that I can slip into other houses and have her get information, possibly. Maybe. I'm not sure on that one yet, but
it is a good idea to have at least one intangible who's a contact or an information source and things like that.
I'd like a fortress, please, Bob. Look at the warfare assets here, and we have.
Sharadel liked your comment there about a courtesan that you could slip into other houses.
That was taken out of context.
Phrasing.
It's all about phrasing. You're right.
Personal suspenser.
I was looking at that. That's quite tempting. Shield infantry. I could have some of them.
But you can't have the warfare assets because those represent like house level assets.
Actually, in warfare. Oh, boo.
But there's nothing to stop you having like a squad of spotty minions if you wanted one of those as an intangible asset.
I'd have to buy a squad of spotty minions, yes. Not minions, obviously, because
troops.
Copyright.
Yeah, a small unit of troops.
Small squad. Is it intangible?
But they're going to be like scout recon troops rather than pipe swingers.
You got to think about pipes.
You're the one with the blunt weapon specialization.
Yeah, no one mentioned pipes other than you.
You know, sometimes you need some hard ass pipe hitters. I mean, that's just the way it rolls.
So your troops would be more like the landing on Endor type brigade rather than...
Yeah, sneaky bastards.
Yeah, not sneaky to the level that Aaron is, but...
No, but some attempt to blend in and not get mugged by space bears. Yeah.
Space bears. Damn them.
Oh, I love a space bear. Who doesn't love a space bear?
I think for like my personal thing, I'll have the bodkin. Is that how you say it? Bodkin.
Yep.
Bodkin. The tiny assassin knife.
Yep.
I'll take one of them.
It's just a hair decoration.
Stab, 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 stab.
Yeah. And then I have to scroll past the warfare assets because we're not allowed them.
No. Boo.
No
There's a rocket
fortresses.
or missile launcher.
I know, I was looking at that. I could hit people with it. I could use it as a blunt weapon.
Yeah.
Oh no, people are turning off the shopping channel. Night all.
Night.
And then
So you could have an ornithopter.
Mm.
You can't have a carry-all because that's a bit silly.
Or
You
bag.
could have a rocket launcher. What it lacks in subtlety, it makes up for in a lack of subtlety.
Hello, yes, I'll be your envoy for today.
Yeah, I will.
What seems to be the problem? Oh, there isn't one. Oh, good. You had a complaint, I heard.
Poisons, Millie?
No, not poisons. I was looking at the Bene Gesserit coded dots.
Ooh.
Which allows me to leave or find messages.
Oh.
Spies within spies. And then possibly where are they? Possibly one of the intrigue assets, the old friendship.
Yeah.
So like another it's obviously like some other Bene Gesserit I trained with or I learned that kind of stuff, like or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
And that'd be it.
Maybe someone who's potentially gone a bit native on Arrakis.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've got your bullshit power as well, so never forget that.
Yep. Yep, that's what I'll have. A little knife, some secret dots, and an old friend.
Very nice.
And I've got a dart gun, the Sabus hood, and a courtesan contact.
Nice. Subtle.
I will have, in reverse order, a small...
Sharadel says that you should try for an elephopter.
It's so tempting. Take some atomics. Ah! Yeah, no. The small squad, my scout recon team, a semi-shield, shield semi.
Nice.
And then my staff of office, which I will take as my tangible level 1, with its kinetically enhanced head and possibly sneaky blade in the base. I haven't quite decided yet.
Nice. Okay.
Occasionally for thumping, occasionally for the stabbing.
So we have got the members of House Dargouche, a minor house in service to House Rashis. Their primary specialism is in the machining of lenses, which are sometimes used in espionage, but are also used in scientific process. Their secondary specialism is in experts in the arts of espionage, although this is not widely known. They live on a moon, which orbits a gas giant in the same system as the Rachis world. It's high in silicates because it has lots of big beaches, huge temperate woodlands, a couple of large cities where the industry grinds down these lenses that are specialisms of the house, and a lot of underground, in with nature homes distributed amongst the community. There's very low crime because criminals are either recruited or caught before they do it. The populace is very happy, low crime. The house respects them, treats them well. There are a lot of social reward programs, and the people are taken well care of. The house symbol is a lantern in gold on a green background, and the house is known as being skilled and well informed. Run by the grandmother. Few people refer to her by name. Lady Dargouche is the grandmother of the house. She's a bit of a dowager. She's knocking on in years and has children, but also grandchildren. And she thinks that the children probably shouldn't be trusted to run the house and is eyeing up the grandchildren to take over. So she's been equipping the grandchildren with the best that money can buy in terms of support, assistance, and stuff. And that includes the three of you. So tell me about your characters then. Let's start with Isaac Roke.
Isaac Roke he's a short man. He's about 5.5 feet tall. He's got a very slim build. He's very wiry. He's very strong and nimble, but he wears boxy or layered clothes for the most part. They don't restrict his movement, but they do sort of disguise his actual physical appearance. He's got a very unreadable face, muddy brown hair cut short, and very pale eyes. He's the kind of person that you see but don't notice, who you only vaguely remember having been in the room. He is the inquisitive of House Dargesh and an agent of the spy master of the house. He's very precise in his actions, his movements, and his thoughts, and he's very discreet. He's a mentat, and
probably one of only 3 or 4 mentats in the house because they don't come cheap.
And he's currently focuses as an infiltrator for the house, sneaking into other houses or other corporations, other locations to find information that the house can use to further their own goals. He's a bit of a cipher, but he strongly believes in protecting the house, even if necessary from their own internal machinations. He knows that the control of knowledge is where true power lies, and that he himself will act to control that truth. That is Isaac Roke.
Nice. Millie, tell us a little bit about Gretchen Riddle.
She is Bene Gesserit, from what do they call them? A chapter house? Like her mother was a Bene Gesserit. She doesn't know who her father was, and grown up in the chapter house, served a reverend mother as a handmaid, then got sent off, told to go to House Dargouche. Not that there is a sort of Bene Gesserit description that you would have. However, she's probably about 1.3 times the size of the average Bene Gesserit. Like, she's just that little bit bigger, that little bit stockier kind of thing. Incredibly polite, not overly conversational, doesn't ask too many questions, is content with, if you've told me everything, I don't need to ask a question. If you had told me it, I would have not needed any more information. She's quite happy with that. And she's possibly people think she knows more than she does. Like, because she
say that about the Bene Gesserit, though, don't they?
I know, yeah. So she heavily relies on this, perhaps because she maybe wasn't always paying attention, isn't always paying attention to the little bits and pieces, but that I guess works quite well for the house because everybody's looking at the Bene Gesserit that is making vague statements, not necessarily looking at the other folks who have gone away and found the truth, that kind of thing. So she's happy to sort of stand out a bit and be looked at whilst others go off and do things. That's Gretchen, I think.
So Gretchen kind of is the slow blade.
Yeah, in one way or the other.
Let's hear about the shield. Alden.
Oh, is that me now?
Tell us about Mr. Graff. Sergeant Graff, sorry.
Sergeant Graff. Sergeant Graff was not born into the house. He was born on the moon as one of many sons of a family of skilled workers. But he never sought to make his living in the factories. He was more interested in trading, in information and power and position, and was subsequently recruited, let's call it that, by House Dargouche, who identified his developing talents as being useful to the house and to the third generation. And he is ambitious, almost dangerously ambitious in terms of wanting to continue to climb this social ladder that is kind of unfurling in front of him. He likes being in command. He likes being in service to the house, service something greater, and guiding those that will listen to greater and greater glories. He affects to not be subtle, but that is often a mask for more machinations underneath the surface. And certainly in service to the house, he is happy to be the obvious distraction, while there are others doing the subtle work behind the
We have 3 levels of look at me.
Mm-hmm.
You've got look at me from Sergeant Graff going, right, I'm here, look. And then next to that, you've got your regional director of sales and marketing going, hello, yes, here I am. And then under no circumstances should you look at me.
I wasn't even here.
What? No, don't look at him. Who's he? What?
We
No.
didn't bring Isaac
Excellent.
with us. I don't know who you're talking about.
You don't even notice that he's there.
Okay,
He's
brilliant.
only got 6 legs. What's going on?
Well then, join us next week when we start an adventure where we're going to go investigating and exploring and doing stuff on behalf of the house on the desert planet of Arrakis, because they're a little bit sore about having lost their holdings to the Harkonnens, who nobody likes. So is it dangerous? Absolutely. Is it necessary? Also absolutely. And what role will their enemies from House Von Meer play? We have yet to find out. Thank you very much for joining us this evening on Garblag Games. Lovely to have everybody in chat. Lots of nice feedback coming from there. Great to get started on Dune. Such a massive, massive cultural touchstone for the entire nerd community. Don't forget to join us through following our links into all of our various social medias, our Discords, our YouTubes, our Patreons, all of the many, many fun things we do there. Come on over to Discord, see what's going on there. That's always a best point of call for finding out more information. Otherwise, bless the Maker and his water, bless the coming and going of him. May his passage cleanse the world. May he keep the world for his people. Thank you and good night.
I